Hi everyone, in today's video I am trying out that paint by numbers that I got off of Temu. It is supposed to look like this when it is all said and done. Sometimes the things you get from Temu, what it's supposed to look like and what it actually looks like vary. And if I have an echo, I am in my main room just because I have a lot more room to work with than in the office. But it reminds me of when I did the diamond painting of Coraline. I mean, the picture looked awesome, but then when I completed it, it looked terrible. I ended up throwing it out, but I think it was like $3, so I don't really care. I forget how much I paid for this. They send you all of those paints and they're all numbered to correspond with the numbers that are on this canvas. They gave you some hardware to hang it, some different size brushes. The way I'm gonna do it is just completely random. 5 stood out to me, so I think I'm gonna color anything I can see with 5 just so the colors kind of pop and go, and just so you guys can see the consistency. Look, the bristles are coming off. What the heck? Guys, look, the whole paintbrush is just falling apart on me. I might have to get my own paintbrushes. 5 and 6 look so similar, so I wonder if they're just gonna blend in anyway. Oh, I keep hitting myself into the paint. This would be a lot easier if you had a stand-up easel, just saying. You really have no choice but to let it be textured because it's such a thick paint that it does not want to move at all. So it's a real pain in my tuchus, so I'm just gonna let it be a textured painting, which I guess is okay because then it covers the numbers better than just trying to paint it on. It's like a chunky, dried out paint. It's so weird, it's so thick and it doesn't need to be this thick without being able to be moved. All right, if you guys made it to the end of the video, thanks for hanging out while I painted this. Here are my thoughts on it. There's definitely pros and cons. I'll do a close-up while I give my review. It's fun. I would definitely do this again. It looks like the picture. I don't have the picture with me right now, but I'll insert a photo of it. So I love that. I love that it looks like the picture. You get tons of paint, so you can mess up, you can use too much, whatever it is, they give you a surplus of paint. So that's all good to go. Cons, the paint is thick. So you have to be okay with this textured vibe. You see how it's all, I don't want to call it gloopy and globby, but I mean, it's dry. You can rub your finger on it and it's not going to come off on you, but that's the only way you can do it. Otherwise, if you want to mix maybe some water, some acetone in the paints just to thin them out a little bit, but holy moly, they're just too thick to be able to smooth on. Like in the bigger sections I could, but those finer details you just can't. You'd be sitting there with a brush, pushing it and it's, ugh, what a headache. But I had a fun time. Overall, I think this took me maybe 3 days to do, just going back and forth and playing around with it. It's definitely less tedious than those diamond paintings where you're sitting and putting the gems on. So I actually much rather do another one of these than the diamond paintings, but that's just a preference. I think for $3 or $4, whatever this costs, it's well worth it, especially if you needed art in your house. I mean, you can actually, let me step back. You can see the size. This is a Hogwarts poster. So obviously it's a lot bigger. I'm sure they do sell bigger painting by numbers than this size that I got, but even that size, that's not bad at all. I'll put my hand next to it for comparison. So I mean, that's really cheap artwork. You get like a cheap frame, put around it, hang it up. But if you guys were ever curious about painting by numbers, highly recommend it. For the most part, you cannot see the numbers coming through, or you can always put another layer on some of like the white parts if you happen to see a number come through, but you don't really see it. So I think that's cool too. Let me know what you guys think. How did it come out? If I were to do another one of these paintings in the future, did you guys like the time-lapse video, or what would you like me to do in the future if I did another one of these? As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye friends.